Welcome back, Novello Nation, to another episode of the Aaron Novello podcast. We have with us the pride and joy of Hoboken and Jersey City, absolute rock stars, coaching clients, Matthew Gray and Mr. Marc Brenner. $49 million in production last year, over $1 million in GCI. Really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with me here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, Aaron. Appreciate it.
For sure, man. And I know this is going to be fun, and I know people are going to get a lot of information. I always like to invite people to the platform that I really believe can add value. And I know you guys can add some tremendous value. And one of the questions that I've been getting a lot lately is kind of having a strategy or a plan around social. And I know we've been working together for a while in an individual one-on-one capacity. And I know that that has evolved over time for you. You're doing some really awesome stuff right now, and people can go and check it out and see what you're doing, which will get your Instagram handles so they can check that out. So talk to me a little bit about that evolution, because I think people might see what you're doing and be like, wow, that looks awesome. That must come so easy to them. But I'm aware behind the scenes, it took a little bit to get you guys to do it. So talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So I remember it was during COVID. And I said, Matt, I've been seeing this guy, Aaron Novello, online. And I was like, I feel like now is the time to really level up, build up during this downtime, and come out of the gates stronger and harder than anybody. And on these calls, Mr. Novello was telling us that you need to break into the social media scene. And we were like, yeah, that sounds great. 1 week would go by, another week would go by. You would check in every week and say, did you guys do it? What did you wind up doing? And we'd be like, we didn't do anything. And then finally, we just, got our heads mentally right and decided that TikToks is going to be the way to go. And we filmed our first TikTok at 275 Varick Street. It got 330,000 views. And we were like, woo, this is the way to go. And ever since then, the sky's been the limit.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. And I really appreciate your authenticity and your honesty, because that's really how that went. There was a lot of like, we haven't got around to it yet. Yeah, man, I think it's a good idea, but we just can't find the time. And just keep kind of revisiting that conversation. And then when you shot that first video, you guys have done a really good job. And I want to talk a little bit about that. You got this really big response, and then you started to notice this is actually a form of marketing.
Right.
And I think in the past, in your brain, the way that we were kind of came up in the game is we just imagined that really marketing almost primarily was about making outbound calls and talking to people about our business. And we really didn't think about social as a strategy. So talk to me about, once you got those 300,000 views on your first video, like that light bulb that went off and you're like, wait a minute, this is actually a way of marketing.
So I would jump in and I would say, as you could probably just see, Marc is like off the charts with energy 24/7. So the traditional real estate videos of, introducing the property, letting the camera slowly span the property, it wasn't showcasing who he is, who we are.
Right.
So once we did that first one, we kind of just had fun with it, ran around, we showcased the property, but we showed the energy behind it. Right. I think that's what triggered the response. And we said, wait a second, this is a lot more fun, and we're getting a lot more attention than just sitting and calling owners, letting them know a home sold. And we're getting our personalities across.
Right.
So now anytime we go and sit with people, meet anybody, it's like they already know us.
Yeah.
And, that's a huge competitive.
It becomes like a warm lead, right? So to Matt's point, they're like, I know this guy, I see him smiling, I see him laughing. And then when they greet you, it's more like, hey, welcome to our house, as opposed to like, everyone shows up and they got their representation from, like they're repping who they really are. Now it's like, oh my God, I saw that video. Our friends were in that video. We want to be in the video when you list our house. So it's already like everything's happening in place because of the warm lead.
Yeah, which is fantastic. And there's this magic that happens. I don't think a lot of people recognize that, people can meet you in the digital form, before they meet you in the physical form. And what happens is over time, as they continue to consume content, they end up feeling as though they know you already.
Right.
And it's no longer like this cold, like, oh, how you doing? Like, they're like, hey, come on in, like, you know, that sort of thing. So that's awesome. Now, and I'm wondering, because you mentioned something, Matt, that I want to touch on, because I think a lot of people, they're kind of at a loss as far as what to be doing content wise. I think that they know I have to be doing something, but they don't really know what to do, and they don't have a plan around it. In fact, I had a super mega producer reach out to me, and he was telling me what he was thinking of doing. And I actually sent him one of your guys' videos. I'm like, listen, you need to be doing value-tainment. So it's valuable information, but it's entertaining. So, so talk to me a little bit about like that strategy. Was that like intentional on your part? Were you just being playful? Did you stumble upon it? Like, what made you guys recognize, like, wait a minute, we just can't be standing there being like, hello, here's a house and it has 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And oh my God, it's this price. Like, that's not, it's not like entertaining. So what was it in your brain that caused you to be like, wait a minute?
I think when we were shooting that home, we just kind of had like that aha moment of, you know, this property is amazing. We're being hired to sell the best of the best properties in the area. Let's showcase it as such, but let's do it in a way that we're going to show the home and people are going to see what the home has, but we're really going to keep the eyeballs on the home. Because now with TikTok, Instagram, everybody's scrolling, everybody's flipping super quick. So if you don't grab their attention right away, then there's a good chance that on those regular videos, they're not going to make it past 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think what's important was to showcase the space and act around the space, right? So if you have a big living room with high ceilings, you kind of run in the living room, raise your hands up, the camera goes up, shows the ceiling height, shows the depth of the room. You go into the kitchen, you know, even if you're like spinning on the countertop, it just shows how wide and how much space is in the kitchen. So you're doing these fun, like acrobatic, crazy things, but you're showing the depth and the space as well.
Yeah. So again, valuable information, but just in an entertaining way. Right. Exactly. And instead of being like the ceiling is 10 feet tall, like that sort of thing. Right. So and I guess I'm curious.
Also, now you're like this, and all of a sudden the camera goes up, you're back down, you're showing the kitchen, like you're in the kitchen, you're going up the stairs, and they see there's like, you know, length into the house, there's width, you know, we sell in a market where the brownstones may only be 12 feet wide, but the ones we're shooting are 25. So we want to showcase the width of the home.
Yeah. So, and I'm wondering too, because I know for a lot of people, it's uncomfortable for 2 reasons. One is they got to get in front of the camera.
Right.
And I know that for a lot of people, there's like, even very highly productive people, there's a little bit of insecurity there. And then also, you know, we've talked about a lot, you know, during our calls that, you know, the best form of advertising is authenticity. It's just being who you naturally are. So like, was that a challenge for you guys at all? Or was that just like, whatever, like, let's just see what happens?
I think it actually came pretty natural. We were inside the property and we were like, all right, we saw like some of like the best footage that we're starting to capture now, because I think people need to see the journey of how we get to do those videos, is when we're there with the owner, we're game planning, okay, we're gonna run over here, you're gonna be over here. When the camera runs over there, we're going to sneak behind so we get to the next room. The majority of the videos we do are all in one shot. It's not edited and put together. So it's continuous. We're running around, we're showing everything. And I think that we just realized that this is a lot of fun. We enjoy doing it.
It really is the best.
Enjoys doing it. And I think because it comes off that way, we've gotten a great response.
Right.
Like one of our clients was holding his newborn baby in the video, and the camera guy's running around showing them like holding the baby. And we have other people reach out saying, was that your client's baby in the video? Like, so it's like, it's just being as authentic as we can, having fun with it. And it's just getting that type of response.
But also, so that homeowner is telling the other homeowner, hey, these guys sold our house. They got over ask. It was a small, you know, like a short duration of time. And we had such a good time with the video. So they're almost promoting us without even knowing they're promoting us, because they're telling other homeowners how great the experience was, how much they sold the house for. Now this homeowner is saying, hey, I was thinking about selling. I saw that video. I want to be in there, or I want my home to get that kind of response. And now they're telling their friends, and it's just people are calling us up, and we're getting a lot of leads from the like inner workings of the TikTok itself.
Yeah, it's so interesting because what it makes me think is that what you're doing is that this actually becomes part of the experience of selling their home.
Correct.
And it's an experience that's fun and exciting. And then it's also like, who wouldn't want something that they have showcased where thousands or hundreds of thousands of people see it in a fun, exciting way? And then, so it's not only is the experience exciting for them, but now there's something that they can share with others.
Right.
And that's really cool.
That's a key.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I think is interesting, because people might, watch your stuff and be like, wow, they seem like naturals. Like, I remember the evolution. So I remember being on calls with you guys and I'm like, Matt, listen, brother, you need to start shooting like on Instagram, a story like every day. You need to start documenting everything you're doing. And Matt was like, really, bro? I'm like, yes, like everything you're doing. And then I start seeing him showing up. Hey guys, I'm here at the property. Like that sort of thing. So like for those people who might be like a little hesitant, right, to kind of do this, like share with them your evolution. Cause it wasn't just you popped out and it was awesome.
I think my mindset from it was people are flipping through things so quickly. They're not even going to remember the story that they just saw a minute ago. So my main thing was, I just want to show every day that I love what I'm doing, that I'm selling real estate at a high level, that we're showcasing properties, and that we're in the marketplace every day, talking to buyers, talking to sellers. They don't even have to see what I'm saying, but most likely when they see a story and they see my face and they see the property I'm in, they know I'm talking about something real estate related. And that's what I want. I just want when people think about real estate, they think about Mark and I, they contact us for whenever they're ready, whatever needs that they have. And by just putting something up every day, and even if it's not perfect, like you said, it goes away in 24 hours, people aren't even going to recognize it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just more important to start occupying that space in people's minds that, we're thinking something real estate, we're thinking Mark on that.
Yeah.
For me, I just wanted my real estate coach to stop asking me if I'm going to film, and I wanted to win and say, yes, we did it. It was liberating and we had the best time doing it. I think I was too attached to some of what Matt was saying. How am I going to look at doing this? How am I going to look at doing that? And the reality is I'm not doing it for me. The homeowner hired me to sell their home, and I'm going to do everything possible to make that the best experience, and so they can get their money and go on with their plans. So I took the emphasis off myself and put it towards doing a good job, and that's when everything started exploding.
And just to touch base on, we keep saying the word experience. I think that was an unintended benefit of everything that we did. Because how many times have agents gone to a house to shoot the house, the videos, the photos, and it's like you're just standing there, you're creating small talk if you don't have a prior relationship besides just selling their home.
Yep.
Where now when we're there, we're energetic, we're starting to plan out what we're going to do. They're part of the process because more likely than not, they're okay with being in the video as well. So when we say you're here, you're working at your desk, we're running around, it just builds a different type of connection where they're like, now when we leave, they're like, man, those guys, not only do they have the track record of great sales and being professionals, but they're making this a better experience as we get to know them.
It becomes a collaboration.
We're having more fun in the process.
Yeah, like what I wrote down here, which is very interesting, that's percolating to the surface, is fun.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like injecting.
Well, we should have fun, right? We're living these amazing jobs. We're doing these amazing jobs. We're selling real estate. We're meeting interesting people. We're learning techniques. We're filming ourselves, joking around, having fun. I feel very grateful to be in the position that I'm in and helping others out.
Yeah, and I think what's awesome about it is the other thing I'm taking away from this is that you said something which was interesting, is taking the emphasis off of me and instead recognizing hey, this really isn't about me or for me. Right. This is for their clients and for prospective buyers. And I think that that's a big hang up for a lot of people You know, it's like, oh, I got to look perfect. Oh, it's got to be, I got to say the perfect thing. Like, oh, it's got to be exactly this way. And that need for perfection, it actually gets in the way because to Matt's point, like the attention span is so tiny that what it's about is about volume. It's about consistency because as people see it over and over and over again, you know, I'm aware that we connected via meeting me in the digital world first.
Correct.
Right. So, and
but
it's
I
just,
already felt like I knew you because of the videos that I watched. So it almost plays the same way. And so as soon as we started talking, I was like, all right, I already know this guy, you know,
right,
from your prior videos and everything.
Exactly. So I think that's awesome. And I think you guys are doing a wonderful job. And the highest form of flattery, by the way, is mimicry. So you're starting to see
that out there. Right.
People are starting to mimic what we're doing, which means we're doing something really good. So, so I guess the question is for you, talk a little bit about, because I know it's very difficult for a lot of people. Like they want like tangibles, like, okay, measurable things. And I know that views are very measurable.
Yes.
I know that ultimately, because people can pay you in two ways. One is, you know, they pay you monetarily. The other is they pay you with attention. And it is a form of payment, right? So that's cool that we're doing it there. Talk to me about some of what you've seen, not only as far as recruitment is concerned for like your team and agents reaching out, being like, hey, I see what you guys are doing. I want to be a part of it. Also from the client's perspective, like clients reaching out, being like, hey, I saw this video. I want to talk to you about maybe you guys helping me sell my property.
Right. So I think that, you know, your best buyer is in direct proportion to the number of people that are exposed to your home. So these videos are creating so much exposure. The client's also seeing the sales price and days on market. And the videos that we film have so many eyes on the videos that we have so many buyers and realtors reaching out to us wanting to sell it, that it becomes what's the word I'm looking for? It becomes like a domino effect of seeing that this person sold for that. My house is around the corner. I have a better kitchen. We did our bathrooms better. You know, we could maybe get a little more if they do the same thing in film. And then a couple 100,000 people see our home as opposed to going to the traditional, just putting it on the MLS and hoping it sells.
I would say that the biggest thing is we just keep saying that attention brings opportunity.
Yes.
It doesn't matter in the brokerage business, in what form it is. It could be potential clients reaching out through Instagram, through TikTok. It could be people in the industry. They're contacting us because they are thinking about now joining us seekers and they want to see how we position ourselves. It could be mortgage lenders reaching out saying, your videos are amazing. How can we help grow your business? So the more attention we have and the more authentic we're being with the attention, we just feel like it's just going to keep snowballing into more opportunities. We have some developments that are a little under wraps right now, but people have reached out and it's paying off.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I wrote down 3 things, which is interesting. And I've seen this too. So one is you're noticing that with actual agents who are our partners trying to help us sell our properties, that they're actually a little bit more excited about showing and selling your properties because they're seeing them, right? Perhaps in a different light or in an entertaining way. The second one is you mentioned that like attention brings opportunities. And the way I've heard Grant Cardone explain it is he says, money and power follow attention. And then attention follows money and power. It's like a fortuitous cycle.
Yeah, right.
So attention's good, period. And I'm aware that I used to imagine, so I'm a convert like you guys. Like I used to imagine that selling 200 homes a year and nobody know who I was cool.
Right.
Like I was like, oh, like I'm the man. Like I sell these homes, nobody knows me. But then I realized that's dumb. Because if you don't know me, you can't flow me, right? Like if you don't know me, you can't like pay me. We can't do business together, like that sort of thing. So, and then the third thing I wrote down here is leads. These could be leads for agents who perhaps are interested in joining your organization or your company or your team, or leads from prospective buyers and sellers that reach out because they found you via that vehicle. Is that right?
So we make it a team effort as well. So when you do come to Nest Seekers and you have a beautiful listing and you want to do these videos, we show up as a group and film these videos as a group and a team, promoting each other and helping each other out. So that's definitely one of the benefits from coming over to us.
Yeah, which I think is really smart. And here's why. When you're building a brand, so like something I noticed is if I look at like my followers, 55% of them are males.
Right.
That makes sense because you attract people that are like you. Also, the majority of them are between the ages of like 25 and 55, which also makes sense. So as we're building a brand, the more faces that I can put to the brand, those different people attract different people. So your team members that might be different genders or different like ethnicities or different cultures or different ages, those people begin to attract different people to the brand that me and you, despite being wonderful human beings, if we don't say so ourselves, we wouldn't be able to attract because we attract people that are like us. So that's really interesting. So what you're doing is you're providing a platform for newer agents to get really massive levels of attention that they otherwise wouldn't. Is that right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I would even say, not going back to like the original point, not everyone's as comfortable to just jump on camera by themselves and run around the house, spin on a table, and avoid punches. So now when they feel like they have the support of us, that we're there with them, we'll do the crazy stuff with them. We'll help direct it to how they see it because they're listening. And it's just about giving our agents and our colleagues the power to just showcase the properties differently, have fun with it, and get all the benefits of getting the added attention.
Yeah, and what I love about that is that, like, as leaders, one of the things that are really important in creating culture is safety. And the way leaders create safety is by going first.
Right.
So you guys go first.
Yep.
And then you're like, okay, like everybody's like, okay, well, they went, so like we can go too. Like we provide the safety. So I think that that's awesome. Now,
and also, like some of the agents that come over, it gives them a lot of confidence because now they're going on this listing appointment. They're telling the homeowners what we're going to do. My team is going to show up. We're going to film these videos. And it just gives them more, exudes confidence as they're on the appointment to get the papers signed and then move forward.
Yeah, and it becomes a very distinct competitive advantage because, I spend a lot of time in your geographic area and I love all the people there. It's like my extended family. I'm also aware that a lot of them, this tech thing is like a problem. Right. So the fact that you guys are really going, and I kept telling you, I remember on our calls, I'm like, guys, nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing this.
You absolutely gave us the push. Right. The push was there.
I was like, nobody's doing this, bro. Like, I'm telling you, if you start to do this, it'll be a distinct competitive advantage. And that's exactly what started to happen. So here's my question. So clearly this is working. We know that it's working. We see based on the results that we're receiving, not only with views, but also those three things where agents are saying like, oh, tell me about your property because I saw it, like, bringing new exposure for your sellers, also leads in the form of sellers or agents attracting to you. So we know that that's working. So the question is obviously we'll keep doing that. Here's my question to you guys, and I'm curious of your answer, is how do we see that continuing to evolve? Because this is cool. What we're doing is awesome. We're banging that out of the park. We're starting to see that people are starting to, again, the highest form of flattery is mimicry. They're starting to mimic what we're doing. So we need to be constantly evolving and doing other things. So how do you see this continuing to evolve as time progresses?
I would say that we've already been having that conversation and already started. Where right now we do the crazy videos and we enjoy doing that. Now we're just starting to pivot and say, how else can we follow different trends where nobody else is really showcasing properties in this way? I think that nest seekers and the backing that we have here, they're always pushing us to think outside of the box and no idea is too crazy. So we are already planning like the next phase of, we're doing these for properties and they're getting a great response, but now what else can we be doing that's going to bring benefit to clients and really just showcase ourselves and our personalities in different way.
I think for us, for me, my vision is we're going bigger listings, better listings, bigger buildings, seeing us in different states. Now these guys are like, oh, you know, they started here in New Jersey and now they're representing high rises with, you know, other famous realtors that are in the industry. Now we're in Miami, now we're in LA. So we're going to be expanding all the way across. Like, so this is the seed that has been planted, and the growth from there is going to be exponential.
Yeah, it's exciting, bro. And I'm excited to see it all unfold.
Yeah, we're
So,
excited.
so I guess my question is then for someone who's just, they're like, look, guys, like, I don't even know what a reel is. I don't even know what stories are. This TikTok thing, like, I thought that was tic-tac-toe. Like, I don't, like, what is that? So like, for those type of folks, what would you propose or suggest as a way to like, just get like started, just to like, you know, get your foot in the door and like start it, to get it going?
I'd just say no attachment. Just go out there. If you know this is the route you want to go, you want to be a real estate agent, and you made that determination in your mind, this is absolutely one of the tools you need in your toolbox. And let it go, live your best life, make it happen. And it feels so good once that first one's in the can and it's up, and then you're excited, and then just grow on that. Just don't have attachment.
And I would say, if you really have no idea where to even start, get a coach, visit Novello. But also maybe look to partner with somebody in the marketplace that maybe they do that a little bit better, but you bring something else to the table. So now all of a sudden you two can play off of each other. Maybe you need that person to be able to come to your listing shoots and run around with you to push you out of your comfort zone. Just, there's going to be somebody at your company that you know, connection. Reach out to Marc and I. We're always happy to advertise the property.
Absolutely.
And, you know, have somebody push you to get started, because it's not going anywhere. Everything's only going more video first.
You know, it's funny. We've had other realtors that do really well in nest seekers have us come out to their properties and start filming with them as these like little cameo spots. And so it just keeps growing and growing in that sense. So to Matt's point, don't be afraid to team up with somebody, film with somebody, and then once you start getting noticed, you know, to the moon.
Yeah, I love that. So I wrote down a few things. Like, a really big one is no attachment.
Right.
Recognizing that like we're not as cool as we think we are, almost invariably all the time.
Yeah, no one, like we didn't get into real estate to say, oh, I really hope I look good on that video right there. We got to help homeowners and help buyers, you know, buy the dream home, sell their house, move on with their plans. It was never go.
Yeah, and like this reminder of like, you know, there's a billion people in China who have no idea who you are, and they don't care.
No,
like, so just getting over this, like, because, you
it's
know,
that
I think
first hump of getting that over, filming it, and just have fun and enjoy it. And once that happens, people notice that, and you're going to see a lot of opportunities coming your way.
Yeah, I love that. So no attachment. And then the other thing I wrote down was guidance, you know, whether it's a mentor, coach, or trainer who can help you, and also someone to hold you accountable. Because what I'm aware of is, even as a powerful person, which you guys are exceptionally powerful humans who can create a life by design, because you have certain character traits, you have certain skills, you have certain mental maps, right? I'm also aware it took 6 months to push you to actually do it. So like, even though you might know something and you're like, yes, this is good for me, and yes, this makes sense. We all even myself included, like, we all need somebody to be like, come on, man, like, push this into the world.
And I would also say the importance of having that person to push you is, you, in a very much right now world, you probably won't see the benefits of shooting a story right away. Maybe you will, maybe someone will reach out, but if you're consistent, you're going to be in front of the right people at their right time. So when they're finally starting to think about it. And now, because you're always consistent and you're always popping up in their feeds, talking real estate, reminding people you're in real estate, that's when you're going to hit them at the right time, rather than, you know, just sitting behind your desk, just pushing through the deals that you currently have going on.
But you got to get out there and be in it and do it to make it happen. It can't be thought about. Like, you planted that seed within us, and then it was the desire, you know, to be successful, and all that just mixed in together. And then, you know, when is enough, right? Like, when are you just gonna stop like sitting around saying, oh, I'm gonna do it, but not do it? Like, when are you really gonna take that initial step? And once you do, it's a nice ride.
It's like, hey, when am I going to stop being a little bitch about this and just get it done?
Right. Exactly.
Right. And what I'm aware of, which is cool, is that all that requires is just, again, like, I remember having conversations with you guys and we would talk about these other famous realtors.
Yep.
And I'd be like, guys, why not you? Why not? You're doing big buildings, you're doing big things, you sell big brownstones, they're like multi-million-dollar projects, multi-million-dollar properties. Like, why not? And then once that belief starts to sink in, it's like you guys look at each other, they're like, why not us, man?
Yeah.
Like, why not? Let's go make it work, right? So that's fantastic. And then you also mentioned getting out of your comfort zone, which I think is really cool. And the only other thing that I would mention to what you guys had said is to go look at people like Matt and Mark. Like, go check them out on TikTok, go check them out on Instagram, like, see what they're doing, right? Because that gives you ideas as you start to consume content that is attractive to you, that is interesting to you. They give you ideas.
Yeah.
And then what you could do is R&D, which is rip off and duplicate, right? So it's like, there's no original thought. Like, okay, I just find somebody who's like knocking out of the park and like, let me learn from them. Let me find out what they're doing. Yep. And then as time progresses, like, what I'm really excited about for you guys is I know that this will continue to evolve into like a legit social strategy.
Yes.
That the videos for the properties are one component of a multi-pronged approach with social. It may include podcasting, it may include like other things, but it's one piece of it.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about going like a little informational, a little TikTok, a little background, like just having it all mixed in together and not be too heavy at one aspect.
Yeah, and then a little fun and playful where you could do like fun little videos at the office, you know, like silly stuff that's going on. And then, and what you're doing is you're giving people, I think the tendency in the past is a lot of us were trained like, okay, I have a way that I am at work. And then I have a way I am with my like people and my friends and my family and my loved ones. And like, we used to think like, okay, those need to be completely separate. So when I show up, I'm like this. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, how can I help you? And then when I with my friends, I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Like, we're just joking and messing around. Yeah. And what I've learned and what you guys are in the process of learning and doing is that that's actually not what people want. People want both.
Right.
They want to see and know who they're going to work with. Like, they want to see that side of us. So the people that, you know, what I find so interesting is that, you know, 99% of the world are consumers of content. So they sit on their screen and they consume content. Only 1% are creators, but who makes all the money?
Yeah, exactly.
Creators of content. So it's having the courage to step out from behind, right, the phone, from behind the tablet, and just let people know who you really are. You guys are doing a bang up job. So if anybody wants to see what you're doing on TikTok, on Instagram, if they have questions for you, if they can send you referrals, like, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, for me, it's Marc, MARC_Brenner, BRENNER _ on Instagram.
Yeah, for me, it's Matt J. Gray _ across everything. So doesn't matter where you're looking.
It doesn't matter. And hey, these guys are the real deal. They're super kind, like aggressive, smart as attack, you know, sharp as attack individuals. I know that they would help you if you have any questions or concerns. So
100%.
Again, guys, I super appreciate you taking the time. I know your time is
much.
really valuable. And if you guys have liked this episode, if you got value, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you think that somebody could get value, if they're having trouble with, like, you know, this social thing, share it with your friends or, you know, family or coworkers or colleagues. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Appreciate it, guys. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you.